My fellow county residents, 2020 has asked much of us. We have been asked to distance ourselves from our loved ones, change our daily routines, and rethink the way we live and work. Those simple moments we took for granted, like hugging a loved one or shaking hands with a colleague, have become a thing of the past, making us feel disconnected from those we value the most in our lives. Personally, I miss hugging my children and my grandchildren. However, one of the deepest lessons we have all learned through this crisis is that we are not in fact disconnected at all, even in the midst of a pandemic. I think every one of us has learned to experience and express a new appreciation for our loved ones, for our colleagues, for our community. As leaders in our community, I know that I speak for all of us when I say that not only has our deep appreciation for our community and our connectedness grown, but more than ever, we have learned what it means to lead together. Leading together in partnership with each other, learning from each other, supporting each other. This is what it takes to successfully navigate through the challenges we all have faced in this crisis, and frankly, challenges we will face again in this or different time. Despite these challenges, however, this year has also brought us some of our most encouraging and connected moments as we've been leading together in this pandemic. Moments like the collection and creation of thousands of items of personal protective equipment to keep those fighting on the front line safe and healthy, while they in turn are working around the clock to keep us safe and healthy. Or the countless individuals and organizations who raised money or donated food to their neighbors so they did not go hungry. Our community has shown no shortage of thanks for those sacrificing their health to protect ours. But a heartfelt thank you always bears repeating. Thank you to our first responders, our Office of Health Services, our volunteers, our elected officials for continuing to dedicate your days to this fight. The Middlesex County Office of Health Services, tasked with the vital work of testing our residents and performing all-important contact tracing, has been crucial to our fight against coronavirus. Since January, they have been dedicating their time to educating, protecting, and testing members of our community. In April, we began testing Middlesex County residents using drive-through testing facilities, administering nearly 16,000 tests free of charge to thousands of individuals during the height of the pandemic in New Jersey. Thanks to the county's ongoing partnerships with healthcare leaders in the state, including Rutgers and RWJ-Barnabas Health, the county was able to lead a breakthrough in testing, offering for the first time ever saliva-based COVID-19 testing on a large scale. This key partnership with RUCDR Infinite Biologics at Rutgers University, RWJ-Barnabas Health, and Accurate Diagnostic Labs expanded our testing capacity, simplified collection, expedited results, and reduced exposure and risk to our healthcare personnel. Middlesex County is proud to be at the forefront of this breakthrough in critical testing and to be continuing to provide these tests to our residents at no cost. As we did with COVID-19 testing, Middlesex County has also been at the forefront of contact tracing, recognizing that contact tracing is one of our best defenses against the virus. Our Office of Health Services established a contact tracing program to track how and where the virus has spread, which allows us to work to prevent the virus transmitting further. Accordingly, because of our successful efforts in contact tracing, Middlesex County was one of the first counties selected to participate in New Jersey's contact tracing pilot program, with county contact tracers receiving first-hand training on ComCare, the state's platform for contact tracing. While the county has focused much attention on preventative measures and response to the virus, our robust infrastructure, sound financial standing, and strong county operations allow our community support to extend far beyond testing and contact tracing. As COVID-19's foothold in the region grew deeper, our economy began to shut down. Thousands lost their jobs, closed their businesses, and wondered how and if they would recover from such a financial hit. Unfortunately, this reality was not unique to our county or our state, But what was unique was the amount of support that the county was able to provide to the community. Another example of what we mean by leading together. Over the past few months, with a combination of federal, state, and county funds, the county has been able to spearhead programs to offer relief to groups hardest hit by the pandemic, including our local municipalities and small businesses. The county applied for and received $143 million in CARES Act funding from the federal government, earmarked for expenses accrued from the pandemic, like the purchase of PPE, for example. The Board of Chosen Freeholders, through the Middlesex County Improvement Authority, committed to distributing much of this funding to our municipalities to offset their COVID-19 expenses. And for our small businesses, the county has initiated 2 grant programs to offer relief. Utilizing Federal Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG, funding from the CARES Act, the county awarded $1.2 million in grants to 51 local businesses in a wide range of industries, including restaurants, hair salons, retail, child care facilities, auto repair shops, and many others. And currently, applications are being accepted for the latest round of CARES Act grants, our Small Business Relief Grants, SBRG, for those adapting their business operations for a post-COVID-19 environment. The county has committed $30 million to this effort and pledged to distribute up to $30,000 to each eligible business. Our small businesses are the lifeblood of our communities. These grants may not erase the hardship these owners have endured over the last several months, but these grants will make a positive impact on our small business owners, the people they employ, and the communities they serve. As a result of the pandemic, many New Jerseyans whose livelihoods have been impacted are experiencing food insecurity due to these unforeseen economic changes. According to McFoods, the county's food distribution organization, there was a 79% increase in the amount of food distributed in March and a 100% increase in April compared to last year. Additionally, in just 8 months, over 2.7 million pounds of food has been received and distributed through McFoods, far exceeding 2019's 2.1 million pounds. Leading together also means serving together. And to combat these striking and alarming numbers, McFoods, along with partners across the county and state, organized several contactless food drives and food distribution events. In a time when we cannot collect food using our traditional collection methods like school food drives, these drive-up, socially distanced food drives collected over 150,000 pounds of food to be distributed to McFoods' network of pantries. And in June, McFoods, along with the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, hosted a food distribution event at the campus of county partner Novo Nordisk in Plainsboro, thanks to the coordination and hard work of my colleague, Freeholder Leslie Koppel. A crew of 125 volunteers from McFoods, Community Food Bank, Novo Nordisk, and the county, including Freeholders Koppel, Tamaro, Nara, Kenny, Ascona Barber, and Armwood, distributed bags of fresh produce and boxes of canned goods to those in need. In total, food was given to 1,500 families. For those unable to travel to get food through our distribution event or from a partnering food bank, our partnership with Logisticare, the nation's largest non-emergency medical transportation company and the contracted transportation vendor for New Jersey Medicaid participants, allowed the county to distribute food to those who are health compromised, relying on public transportation, or otherwise homebound. Working with McFoods and local food pantries in the area, since the program's inception in April, this food delivery program has delivered over 2,000 food packages to residents. While we could not have predicted a global health pandemic would upend our lives this year, thanks to the county's prudent fiscal responsibility and investment in advanced technologies, we are fortunate to still be in a position to support our residents. For over a decade, the county has built its surplus, its rainy day fund, to be used for unanticipated events and expenses like those accrued during Superstorm Sandy in 2012 or the health pandemic still gripping our communities today. This surplus, combined with our lowering our debt and our nearly 2 decades of obtaining a AAA bond rating, has allowed us to continue to provide vital services despite the current economic climate. In tandem with our commitment to financial security, the Board of Chosen Freeholders and the County Administration have been making vital, strategic investments in technology. When the county made the decision to protect its workforce and close its facilities in March, it was the investments we made in technology over the years that allowed our operations to not only continue, but to adapt and thrive in a new environment. While this pandemic will certainly change the business and governmental landscape for years to come, I am confident that those business decisions we have been making for over a decade are what enable us to continue to build a bridge to a brighter future for the communities of Middlesex County. And that brighter future includes additional key strategic investments in our transportation, education, and economic infrastructures to develop and enhance the quality of life of our residents, municipalities, partners, and businesses. Over the next decade, Middlesex County will serve as a driver for key economic development initiatives. Many of these major capital projects will be driven by the financial arm of our economic development strategy, the Middlesex County Improvement Authority. The MCIA, which provides financial and management assistance for county government, municipalities, and other entities, is positioned to bring strength and flexibility to projects like the North Brunswick train station and Rutgers Cancer Pavilion. The North Brunswick train station, a vital capital project, has become a symbol for the county's forward momentum. In October of 2019, Middlesex County Improvement Authority, through an agreement with New Jersey Transit, was enlisted to manage the design and construction of the station as the project manager. This first-of-its-kind partnership between a county government and New Jersey Transit positions this project to be completed expeditiously. The MCIA has been working towards an agreement with the state to provide for the design and execution of the station, which is a leap forward in building this critically needed transportation hub on the Northeast Corridor. This station will bring relief to one of the state's busiest rail lines, reduce traffic on Route 1, and attract new revenue to the region. I thank the MCIA, Freeholder Shanti Nara, now a member of the Board of Directors for New Jersey Transit, Freeholder Charles Kenny, and the County Administration for their vision and tireless work to push this project forward, full steam ahead in spite of the pandemic. Aligned with our future-minded decision-making, Middlesex County recently announced an investment in the Cancer Institute of New Jersey. This $25 million investment in a facility that will create over 1,000 construction jobs and more than 500 new permanent positions will ensure our collective advancement and prove again why Middlesex County, with its extensive partnerships, is a leader in life sciences, medical research, and healthcare. The Cancer Pavilion will build a powerful, sustainable health and educational ecosystem in Middlesex County, offering world-class cancer care to those in need in our communities and educational opportunities for the healthcare experts of tomorrow at Middlesex County College. While the county facilitates bringing these projects to fruition, we will simultaneously focus our efforts on 3 key industries: life sciences, food innovation, and electric connected autonomous vehicles, to attract, retain, and expand these industries in Middlesex County. The county has long been home to industry leaders such as Johnson & Johnson, Rutgers, and Novo Nordisk, and a talent pool that is cultivated by one of the best educational systems in the country. We want to continue to not only nurture the industries and businesses we have, offering them an experience only the county can provide, but we want to be the key facilitators in growing our ecosystem by attracting rising and emerging businesses and investors from other parts of the country, as we will be doing in the 3 industries we are focusing on. Additionally, for the county to become synonymous with innovative and sustainable economic growth, we must continue to invest in overall quality of life, including a focus on arts and culture for our residents. The Board of Chosen Freeholders recognize that the arts have the power to bridge divides, unite us under a shared experience, and transform our communities. Over the past several years, we have invested millions through the Arts and Culture Trust Fund in performing arts centers across our municipalities, including Avenel, Carteret, Metuchen, and New Brunswick. This year, I am proud that we are continuing that tradition and investing in one of the county's most historic cultural icons, State Theater, New Jersey. Looking towards modernizing the facility, State Theater, New Jersey will undergo renovations that will dramatically improve accessibility, safety, and operation of the nearly 100-year-old facility owned by Middlesex County. In addition to the county's $12 million contribution, members of our community and other major donors have contributed to the Next Stage campaign. Through its history, the State Theater has welcomed almost 6 million people through its doors, and thanks to the generosity of the public and the investment the county is making in its future, the theater will be poised to welcome the next 6 million. While we are keen for these long-term projects to come to fruition, the remainder of this year will bring changes and new opportunities that will shape not only our county, but our nation for years to come. While we have collectively been experiencing the pains of a pandemic, 2020 has been a time for greater reflection and action surrounding the systemic challenges and hardships that people of color in our country have experienced for centuries. While the events which served as a catalyst for protests, like the deaths of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, are reprehensible, the collective voice that has risen from those events is inspiring and enacting real change. Right here in our county, one of the most diverse counties in the nation, we believe in equality, peace, and justice for all. We must support and work towards the kind of change, dialogue, and actions that make us all better. In fact, our state has taken steps to effect such change across all counties. Governor Murphy and the legislature have retired the title of chosen freeholder, a term which dates to an era in which people of color, women, and those without financial means were not treated as equals. As a board, we agree that this term is not representative of the ideals in which we aspire to and are eager to begin the new year under a new name, the Board of County Commissioners. Board colleagues from around the state, including our own Deputy Director Armwood, advocated strongly for this change, bringing pride to our county. While County Commissioners is simply a title to some, it reflects much more than that. It is the embodiment, right here in our state and county, of what a community can do when it leads together for the greater good. Though this year has brought difficulties and challenges on many fronts, it will place itself in history as one in which our residents have been given the opportunity to exercise their rights as Americans. 2020 has the distinction of being a presidential election year and a census year, something that has not happened since 2000. Middlesex County has the honor of being intimately involved in both. Regardless of who you support, who you cast your ballot for, what your views and stances are, we are in a critical election cycle because of the unique nature in which it will be administered. The county, in its commitment to keeping our voters safe, is following direction from the state, working tirelessly to print and mail vote-by-mail ballots to every active registered voter throughout our 25 municipalities. Working in coordination with the state, the U.S. Postal Service, and our municipalities, the Middlesex County Clerk's Office and Board of Elections are ensuring our residents have access to express one of their fundamental rights as Americans. As with the primary election held in July, voters will have myriad options for returning their completed ballots, including through the mail, in one of the many drop boxes located throughout the county, dropped off at the Board of Elections, or in person via a provisional paper ballot. While the way in which we vote may be non-traditional, the county is confident in our preparations and management of this November's election. And since last year, the county's Complete Count Committee, led by myself, Freeholder Rescona Barber, and Assemblywoman Yvonne Lopez, has been committed to obtaining an accurate and complete count via the U.S. Census. The census is a cornerstone of our democracy, which helps guide the future of our communities. This complete count of the United States population is required by the Constitution and determines the next 10 years of representation in Congress and the Electoral College and the distribution of hundreds of billions of dollars in federal funds. As I stated earlier, 2020 is a critical year. The county and state have been supporting the U.S. Census Bureau in their work to obtain a complete tally, but it is up to every household in Middlesex County to do their part in being counted. The census is safe, confidential, and easy to complete online, by phone, or by mail. But we only have until September 30, so if you have not already completed it, please fulfill your civic duty and fill out the census today. As we prepare for the final months of the year, I am glad that we had this moment to reflect on where we have been, where we are, and where we are headed. If these past several months have shown us anything, it is that we are stronger as a community. We are more resilient when standing alongside our neighbors, and we are more likely to make it through a crisis like a global health pandemic by leading together.
Middlesex County is a community, learning from the past, committed to the present, and looking toward the future. Navigating through this pandemic, we found innovative ways to advance scientific testing and support healthcare partners. We've rallied around businesses and essential workers. We've worked together to help those in need. And now, although there is more work to be done, we can begin to look ahead with the strength and support we gain by partnering with one another. We are Middlesex County, leading together.